Alright, so this video is for educational purposes, not really an assessment, but just a practice for educational purposes. Okay, so Myrna, you've come in for the issue, or the issue that you're coming in with is for depression?
Yeah.
Okay, so how long would you say that that's been going on?
Oh, maybe going on maybe a couple of years now.
Okay.
It's just didn't really realize that's what it was at first, but I think probably a couple of years now. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Would you say there was a time where it was worse or better?
Well, when dealing with my medical issues and stuff, it gets depressing when I'm not getting well as fast as I'm supposed to, or I'm not going to get well at all. It's just something I'm going to have to live with. That gets kind of depressing. So yeah, I have bouts of I'm okay for a minute, I can handle this, and then after a while it just kind of wears on me when I can't do what I used to be able to do. Then I get kind of depressed. Yeah.
Okay.
So it comes and goes.
Based on your
It's
medical?
always there, but it comes and goes. Sometimes it's harder than others. And I've been told I get grouchy and stuff. Well, it's basically because I'm so frustrated with myself because I can't do what I used to be able to do, and I don't like people doing things for me when I'm was perfectly capable of doing it myself. Even like something as little as washing dishes. It just gets very annoying when I can't get things done when I want to get things done because I can't do them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing gets me. It's depressed. I get depressed and I get grouchy because of it.
So would you say your depression is more intense when your medical issues are, when you're having more issues?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then you had written that we had shoulder replacement surgery last year?
Yeah.
So,
yes. It'll be here in September. Yeah.
Okay. And so you were in a lot of pain
prior to that.
Prior to the surgery.
So I was going through depression then as well because it was like unbearable pain. It was just taking a shower was excruciating, and trying to work full time through all that because I had to work.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and then dealing with somebody I have to deal with at work that just works my last nerve.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a combination of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it all, I usually can control the depression and the grouchiness when I'm not hurting so much, or when I have more mobilization. It's when my medical issues start getting worse, then it gets worse.
So when you had the shoulder pains before, would you say that was the worst that you felt with depression?
No.
No?
No, it was bad.
Okay.
But not as much as it's getting. It's now that that's been fixed and I don't have that anymore.
Uh-huh.
I knew that was going to get better, but what I'm dealing with now, there's a possibility that it may never get better. That
Okay.
I will always have to live with this. So that's what's really kind of throwing at me into, because it's not going to end. Before I knew there was going to be an end to it, but now it's not. So it's just laying there, and it just festers.
So do you think the depression is worse now than it was before the shoulder pain?
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
So in the last week, can you, how many times do you think you've been depressed?
Last week?
Yeah.
I don't know, a couple times, I guess. Maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay. And out of those 3 or 4 times, how, if you were to rank the intensity of it, do you think it would be 10 being the worst and 1 being the less?
7, probably 7, 8.
Oh, yeah. All of the times that you've mentioned, a 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it get to a 9 when that particular person that I have to work with would get on my last nerve and just, yeah.
So these times that you're feeling depressed, what is going on during those times? Is it in the morning time, in the evening time? Is there a particular time of day?
No.
No? Okay.
It can happen anytime.
Anytime?
I can wake up depressed in the morning if I can't move my fingers, or I'm taking a shower and I can't wash my hair like I used to wash my hair. I have to use the palm of my hand to wash my hair instead of my fingers. It's just depressing not to be able to do what I was able to do before.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I may not be able to ever get to do that again because there's no feeling in those fingers. And
Okay. So do you think your depression is related more to the medical issues?
Yeah.
Okay. Not so much the coworker that's negative?
No, that adds to it, makes it worse.
Okay.
But basically, because I can't control this. I can't control my medical issues.
Right.
I can control the other, and I can make myself happy, but I cannot make this go away. So so it contributes to my mood.
Okay, so you said you can make yourself happy. What do you do to make yourself happy?
I just think better thoughts. I don't dwell on it, because if you dwell on it, on the bad stuff, then you're stuck.
Okay.
But you can change it. I can. I don't. Some people may not be able to do that, but I can. If I feel myself getting depressed, I'll do something that makes me happy,
Okay.
or go someplace that makes me happy. Or,
Okay. So these things, like you go someplace or do something that makes you happy, what does that look like? Describe what those
Plan a
activities are.
vacation. Or,
Okay.
get with my kids and say, hey, let's do something fun. Don't just put the housework and work aside and just let's do something different. That
To kind of get your mind off things?
get out of that slum routine that I get stuck in. Just do something different.
Gotcha.
Fun.
Okay. Okay. So would you say you have feelings of guilt because of your medical issues that you're unable to do things like
Yeah.
you used to?
Yeah, because now I'm having to depend on my kids more than I used to. And it used to be the other way around. That they used to depend on me, and now it's the other way around. I don't like it. I like to be the one that's the helper, not the one that's
The care provider versus being taken care of. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. With the depression, I know you said you feel like it's worse now with your hand issue versus the shoulder issue. Would you say you sometimes feel like you don't want to continue on with your life, or?
Well, I don't want to do away with I don't want suicide or anything like that. It's
Okay.
just I'm just sad and depressed and cranky and turning into a cranky old lady because I don't hurt, but it just doesn't. Well, it does a little bit, but not to where my shoulder was hurting. But I knew that was going to be repaired and that was going to get better. But now I have hand issues because of the shoulder replacement has left me with the side effects of nerve damage and whatnot. But anyway, and I know that's not going to get better because if it's not well within a year, they say if it doesn't come back in a year, this is something I'm just going to have to live with.
But
So,
you have been working with an occupational therapist,
Yes.
and do you feel like that's helped
yes,
with
she
your recovery?
helps. That's my mental status and my physical, because she's really a positive person. So.
So that's helped out a lot.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you had 4 weeks of it. Do you have, has it ended, or are you still going to be able to continue with that?
It's going to be ongoing. I might have to pay out of pocket now, which that's okay. I mean, as long as I can continue to work, I'll be able to pay for it.
You're right.
But it just does better with occupational therapy until at least I can get it. It was out of joint or
Mhm.
out of place,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 orthopedics couldn't. One did a surgery on it, and it didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The occupational therapist just happened to pull on it, or was working with it when it popped back into place,
Mm-hmm.
and then it popped back out of place, and she popped it back into place.
Mm-hmm.
I had told them all along there was something wrong with that knuckle,
Mm-hmm.
and sure enough, that's where the finger was jammed up underneath the knuckle, so it wouldn't open. So they kept saying I was having this debilitating contracture that was not going to get well, that it was a hereditary thing, and that it would continue to spread all over my body, that I'd have issues. That's depressing to know that you're going to have something that's going to take over and you have no more control of your body. So that being said, now that she's popped it into place and that is not the diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
that is a plus. It's just a long ongoing therapy that I'm going to have to go through. And like I said, I may never get the feeling back in my fingers, but if I can just get the use
Mm-hmm.
of them back to where I don't have to worry about that going out of place again,
Mm-hmm.
because that is really hurts and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So you feel a little bit better considering that it may not be as debilitating as they made it out to sound?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because otherwise it was going to be, my whole body was going to be taken over by these contractures, which means lose the use of both hands, feet, legs, whatever. It was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
it was going to be an ongoing.
Now, you said that they said it was hereditary. Does anybody in your family have this issue?
No, that's why I kept telling you it couldn't be that, because nobody that I know of in my back history had anything like that. They had arthritis,
Yeah.
but I mean we all get that as
Yeah.
we get older.
But nothing like this conjuncture that you
No.
mentioned. All right. And then let me ask you, I know we talked that you have sleep apnea and that you use a CPAP machine to sleep with at night. Do you have ever any problems with insomnia?
Not really, only when my hand was hurting real bad and I have to wear this brace. Sometimes it makes it a little bit difficult because I have to sleep a certain way in order to accommodate for the hand.
Okay.
So it's
But
not really,
typically,
typically I
so
don't
if you
have
did,
insomnia.
if the pain wasn't there, you wouldn't have insomnia. Like
And
you'd
it's
be able
not
to
so
sleep.
much pain, it's because you got the straight cast thing on and it's kinda hard to move around on bed and you have to have it a certain way. You're supposed to have it elevated and iced when it's swelling and so it just makes it different, you don't really have a choice of which way you're gonna sleep or how you're gonna sleep because your hand dictates how you're
So you
gonna
can't sleep your normal way that
Yeah,
you normally
no,
would
so
sleep.
I have to just adapt it. Not insomnia because I just can't sleep, I'm not suffering from that.
Okay. Okay. How are work activities? Like, do you feel like when you're doing work activities, like when you go to work, I know your hand gives you issues and you rely on your hand because the job that you have, you're an office manager, so you have to use your hand a lot. How would you say, well, you kind of mentioned a little bit that it made you frustrated as far as you're
Yeah.
not able to do the things that you want to do.
Slows me down a lot on how I'm having to do things. And some things I cannot do, so I have to ask people to do it for me. So that's time consuming and annoying because I used to be able to just do it on myself.
Mm-hmm. So with the medical issues that you have, do you feel like you've lost interest in doing things, or do you try to do things
I try
in
to
spite
do
of
it,
the pain that you've
try
got?
to do it. If I can't do it, then I have to resort to asking somebody for help,
Okay.
which is
Which makes you feel, like not happy,
inadequate,
okay. Let's see. And you mentioned that you feel agitated at work because you can't do the things that you normally do, right?
Right.
Okay. What about anxiety? Do you ever feel anxious or?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have any other physical pains or issues aside from, well, I know your shoulder's been repaired and that you're able to do and move around with that, and then your hand is the issues. Is there any other, like any stomach type issues, or
No.
do you have headaches or no
No.
physical other issues? Okay. Or anything that you can think of that may be a concern. Just mostly it's the hand issue that's been, okay. Have you experienced weight loss? Do you, or not necessarily,
I need to lose weight, but no, excessive weight loss and weight gain, no, not really.
like your appetite's
No.
about the same, like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't,
nothing like
you're,
that.
you eat when you usually eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm hungry.
Your primary doctor always tells you to lose weight though, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I have lost a few pounds, so about 17 pounds, but still got a long ways to go.
Okay, okay. Let's see. What else is next? So do you have, with working, when you're at work, do you feel, what's a normal work day like for you?
Go to work. Put out fires wherever there's something going on with the staff and I have to either fire or have meetings or talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
talk people off the ledge because I want to fire people. It's just, every day is different there.
Mhm.
You never know what I'm going to walk into. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's like annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do I really want to walk in here and take care of problems again? Because it's my job is problem solving
Mm-hmm.
most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of paper pushing and stuff like that, but problem solving, and if I'm not in a good frame of mind, I'm not really good for that either.
Okay.
So,
How's the work environment as far as, would you
Okay.
consider it,
one in particular worker that has always gotten on my last nerve, and she's just, it's just her personality, it's just the way it's gonna be.
mm-hmm.
But when I'm in a good place, I can deal with it, but when I'm not feeling good or not in a good place, then I wanna lash out at her,
Mm-hmm.
because she just makes me mad all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just one of those workers that knows everything and it never does anything wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a big know-it-all.
Okay. So have you tried to remediate the situation with her, your work relationship with her?
Several times, but I always go back to the
Same situation
yeah,
where,
same
okay,
situation.
okay.
So,
So what I gather so far is, do you feel like your depression is mostly from the injury, like your medical issues that you have?
yeah.
And that sometimes the work environment, particularly a coworker, contributes to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you feel like your depression affects relationships in your home life? Like with your family or
Oh,
friends?
when I'm grouchy, yeah, they can tell when I'm kinda out of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that affects everybody. If you're not feeling well, and I'm not up to my usual happy, like, happy-go-lucky person, or
Mhm.
is in a good frame of mind,
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, the family knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does, it affects everybody around you when you don't feel good.
Okay. So can you think of a time when you felt good, where you didn't feel this depression?
Before the shoulder, that was
Well,
long
before
time
the
ago.
shoulder pain, right?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
3 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Well, every now and then, I mean, I have bouts of okayness between the hand thing, but it's just like, this is ongoing, so I have to wake up with it in the morning, and I go to bed with it at night,
Mhm.
every single day,
Mhm.
until this is resolved, if it will be resolved. It's just something I have to live with, I don't have to deal with it, so I have to find my happy place with
Okay.
it.
Alright, we're gonna stop there.